Ann Jeffries as Marion Kirby, the ghostess with the mostest. Robert Sterling as George Kirby, that most sportive spirit. And Leo G. Carroll, host to said ghosts, as Topper. This is Cosmo Topper, a banker whose rather sedate life has suddenly been disorganized by the intrusion of two handsome ghosts, Marion and George Kirby, and the Kirby's somewhat alcoholic St. Bernard, Neil. Now, anyone can be haunted, but when no one except Topper can see or hear the ghosts, life can become quite complicated around the house. Henrietta, Topper's wife, doesn't understand it at all.
What's that, Cosmo?
Oh, just a little tonic, dear, for my appetite.
Now that you mention it, dear, I've noticed you haven't looked at all well lately. Almost, I think the expression is seedy.
Been working too hard, I imagine.
Definitely. I may have to give Mr. Schuyler a talking to.
As a matter of fact, Topper, you do look a little run down at the heels.
Seedy.
I am not seedy.
The sick man is always the last to recognize the signs.
Corny, but true. Bacon, Neil?
Elsie Warble knows of a very fine doctor. You eat nothing but Chinese herbs.
George thinks it's your liver.
He's a quack.
I was only trying to be helpful, Cosmo. If you have no appetite, Cosmo, it's a sure sign. Why, Cosmo, that tonic worked wonders.
You're cooking, dear.
Well, don't be a court sitter. Take a belt.
Goodness, Cosmo. That's far too strong.
Come in. You want to see me, Mr. Schuyler?
Yes, come in, Topper, come in.
Topper, you pissed me.
I'm sorry, Marion.
What's that? Sorry, Marion.
Marion Harrison. Tell her, parakeet just died.
Oh.
Something wrong, Mr. Schuyler?
Yes, you're looking run down, Topper. Almost,
What, seedy?
That's it. It's my feeling that when a man gets in your condition, he doesn't do himself any good, and he doesn't do the bank any good.
Uh-oh, here it comes. The old pink slip.
He takes the best years of Topper's life and then pow off with the head.
I always suspected the worst of Schuyler. Shifty eyes.
Oh, but I feel fine, Mr. Schuyler. A little tired, perhaps.
There comes a time in life, Topper, when the old ticker says, slow down.
Oh, but
I know. Have a cigarette, Topper?
Oh, I can't stand the watch, George.
Topper, you've grown old and gray in our service. Here's a bottle of hair dye.
And we have to think of Mrs. Topper, don't we?
Fight back, Topper. Tell him off.
Please, I'd rather not.
Well, just as you say. But I'm here, Topper, to look after the welfare of my employees.
Why, you slimy hypocrite.
What you need, Topper, is a nice long rest.
Bounder.
At my lodge on the lake.
Ingrate.
Schuyler, are you hurt?
George, we're going to the lake.
What have I done to this nice, sweet man?
George, please be careful of that thing. That has a hook on it.
How do you like it, Topper? Ain't it a beaut? What would you do if you were a big, fat trout?
Oh, I'd turn my back on that silly thing and swim upstream to spawn.
Oh.
Why, Toppy.
Oh, you look positively indecent, Marion. In a nice way, of course.
Toppy, will you take me moonlight canoe riding on the lake? George gets seasick.
A foul canard. It's just that I feel more romantic with both feet on the ground.
You will take me, won't you, Topper?
I'm afraid you'll have to paddle your own canoe, Marion.
What did you say, Cosmo?
Old college song, paddle your own canoe, Marion. I'm not carrying you home.
I remember it well.
I was surprised for you, Topper.
Oh, really?
Yes, I got to thinking about the lodge. The long, lazy days, the cool nights, the solitude.
Yes.
So I'm coming along with you.
Oh.
Wonderful. We can play three-handed whist.
Good old Schuyler. Wonder what he's got in the box.
Exotic foods. That man thinks of everything.
Topper, you won't mind crowding this in, will you?
Well, no, indeed. I'll hire a trailer.
Yes, that's good. You know the J.B. Quigley Bank over in Springfield, don't you?
Oh, of course.
Yes, I'm on the verge of a merger with him.
How clever of you.
These books, a complete record of their operation.
You want me to check all these records on my vacation?
Oh, I'll help you, Topper. And in our spare time, we can take them out fishing.
But Mr. Schuyler...
I'm taking along Mr. Quigley's son. Now, you be on your best behavior.
Quite, but...
Now, don't thank me. Either of you. Glad to do it.
We'll see you at the lodge, Mr. Schuyler.
Bring along all your sport clothes, Topper. We'll have a grand time.
Why, you dirty, double-crossing Simon Legree.
Oh! Topper, what is the meaning of this?
Sorry. My last chance to have fun before my vacation.
Guest rules. Schuyler's Liberty Hall. Male guests are requested to make all beds in the morning, bring in firewood, carry wash water from the lake, and sweep off the walk to the bathroom.
Women guests will take over the cooking, dishwashing, fish cleaning. This is a slave labor camp.
But above all, have a good time.
Cosmo. Having a good time, Cosmo.
Well, the air is refreshing.
How do you know?
On that long walk to the showers?
Mr. Schuyler and I are going sunning.
How nice.
How are you making out with the books, Topper?
Well, it's a bit of a job, Mr. Schuyler.
Well, take your time. You're here to enjoy yourself. But get as much done as you can before young Quigley gets here.
Is he going to help me?
Oh, no. He's on vacation.
I wouldn't want to spoil it.
As a matter of fact, he'll be busy with sports competition. Quite an athlete, Topper.
Cosmo plays a slashing game of croquet.
Yes. The resort sponsors a junior Olympiad each summer. Matter of fact, I've done all I can to discourage competition. A win should put young Quigley in the frame of mind to recommend the merger. Now let's see where you are with these books.
This Junior Quigley sounds like a stinker.
Oh, I don't know. Just because the man happens to be an athlete.
Don't give me the big athlete bit, George.
It happens to be true. I was a great water sport man.
You could drown in a punch bowl. Hey, come to think of it, that's not a bad way to die.
I'd like to compete against young Quigley. Sounds like a capital fellow.
10 to 1, he's a complete nothing.
Anyone for tennis?
Preston, my boy.
George, it's Preston Quigley. Oh, I was mad about him in college.
A complete nothing.
Mrs. Topper Preston.
How do you do?
Very well, thank you.
Cosmo Topper from my bank. Topper and I are checking over your father's records.
Well, you'd best be nice to me. Dad and I may just decide to rescue old Schuyler from bankruptcy.
Preston looks just wonderful, George. And do you mind if I kiss him?
Mr. Topper, did you? No, I guess you didn't.
I beg your pardon?
Well, Schuyler, I trust we're going to have a delightful time up here.
I'll take that, Topper. Home record.
Dropper, what on earth made you do that?
Oh, it wasn't me. It was the racket.
The racket?
Yes, it's a little unstrung.
Uh-oh. You better duck.
Why?
Here comes Simon Legree Schuyler and his gang.
I shall remain here.
Good for you, Topper. Oh, George, doesn't Preston look wonderful in trunks?
Muscle-bound Hulk.
Enjoying yourself, Topper?
First two-paddle man I ever saw.
Well, I got tired of playing singles, so I was playing doubles.
I'll show you how to do that. Now, you got a ball?
Sure, Preston.
Watch it, Topper. Here, my boy.
Cosmo is very vigorous.
Now, my killer serve.
Marvelous.
Just in the wrist. My, what a pity. There's no competition for me this year.
Perhaps Cosmo could enter. He's quite athletic.
I'm afraid he won't have time, Mrs. Topper.
Oh, time for what?
Why, Topper, old man, I hear you're quite an athlete. How about showing me a few tricks, huh?
I never played in my life.
I'll help you, Topper. We'll ruin him.
What's he doing?
He's warming up.
I see. Now, Topper, old man, don't be too rough on me.
We'll demolish you.
Quiet, you idiot.
Oh, wise guy, huh? All right, you asked for it.
You don't think Topper can beat him, do you?
Cosmo's just full of little surprises.
Faster, Topper.
Stop pulling my arm.
What's the matter with you, Topper? Miss it.
But I thought the game was to hit it.
George, stop.
Watch this, Topper. Strike one, strike two. You're out, love.
Topper, there's no logical explanation for this. None.
Simple, Mr. Schuyler. He pinged when he should have ponged. Goodbye, Mr. Schuyler.
Well, where do you think you're going?
First event in the Olympiad. Shot putting.
Who's going to do all this work?
Well, you're getting on just fine.
Now, look here, Topper. I brought you up here to... Well, I didn't bring you up here to shot put. Who entered you in this contest, anyway?
I thought he did.
I thought you did.
Why, that's the silliest thing you've said yet. Don't you realize that young Quigley can sway our merger either way? If you were to beat him...
He wants you to take a dive, Topper. Don't do it.
Well, I'm willing to cooperate, Mr. Schuyler.
That's better, because if anything should happen to this merger, Topper... coming, Preston, my boy? Topper here's dressed for work, Preston. Has to run over the books.
Well, enjoy yourself, Topper, old boy. Where are you going, Marion?
He's wearing my kerchief into battle.
Come along, my boy, come along.
Are you letting him get away with that?
It's your wife, George.
Don't change the subject. Is this a vacation? You slave while Schuyler and that idiot Preston push you around like a dog. Sorry, Neil. No offense.
But this is business, George.
All right. All right. I'm only a ghost.
George.
But there was a time when I swam and laughed, enjoyed the warm admiration of my wife. But that's all behind me now. I live only through Cosmo Topper.
Come now.
Well, you think that Preston could compete against me in my live days? Never. Why, I'd have wiped up the track with him.
George.
But now, I sit with my dog by the fire, ruled off by a technicality.
Well, what do you want me to do, George?
Well, Topper, I never thought I'd have to ask this of you, but, well, will you go in there and win one for old George?
Everything you say, George, makes no sense at all. But I'll do it.
Ah, stout fella. I'll be with you every inch of the way.
First event of the Bear Lake Olympiad, shot putting. Mr. Cosmo Topper will put the shot against Mr. Preston Quigley.
Isn't he beautiful?
Who, Topper?
Preston.
Now, see here, Marion.
You faithless wretch! Topper, darling, I'm with you.
You're first, Mr. Topper.
Well, what do I do?
Why, it's easy, Topper. Just toss this little ball.
Up we go, Topper.
What's he doing?
He's just trying to make it look hard.
I can't throw this, George.
Don't worry about a thing, Topper. I'll take over.
Incredible!
I think this is far enough, George.
It's far enough, but will they believe it?
Believe it.
Mr. Cosmo Topper has just broken the world shot put record by about 40 feet.
Cosmo can do anything.
Simple, really.
Whoa, boy.
He held my arm.
He wasn't near you.
Well, somebody was.
He doesn't deserve to win. Poor sport.
The next event, weightlifting.
Topper can't beat that.
No. He strained his back last month picking up the morning paper.
Your turn, Mr. Topper.
A little more weight, please.
Take it easy, Topper.
You pick it up in the middle.
Why, anyone can pick it up in the middle.
All together, heave.
He must be the strongest man in the world.
Down, Topper, down.
And the winner, Mr. Cosmo Topper.
I had no idea Cosmo had that much strength.
He'll need it on his next job.
winner in the final event of the Bear Lake Olympiad, the fishing derby.
You've ruined me, Topper. There still may be a chance if young Quigley wins this final contest. He may recommend the merger, but I'm warning you, no tricks.
Of course not, Mr. Schuyler.
Why, that laughing hyena. Give me that fish, Topper.
Topper, what made you do that?
It was the trout, Mr. Schuyler. Fighter to the last.
And the entry of Mr. Preston Quigley, exactly 6 pounds.
You think you got me beat, Topper?
On the best day you ever lived.
£180?
Clever on me, Topper, huh?
George, get off.
Who's George, Cosmo?
It's the fish, dear. George Trout.
I accuse this man of cheating, and he's been cheating all day.
That's a lie. I'm the one that's been cheating.
Are you alleging, Mr. Topper, that this fish weighs 180 pounds?
No, Topper. Your other fish weighs 180.
That's right. It was my other fish who weighs 180.
What other fish?
What other fish, Marion?
Again with Marion. What Marion?
I said marinated. Delicious way to serve fish.
Out you go, baby.
What on earth's the matter with you, Topper?
Hurry. Well, I hope I'm not making it too tight, old boy. Let's go. Here's your other fish, Topper.
And the winner, Mr. Cosmo Topper.
I wonder how you cook it.
I should kill myself.
First seal caught in this lake in 40 years. What did you use for bait, Mr. Topper?
Small trout. The only thing for seal fishing. Here.
I protest this. I protest this whole thing. This man is a fraud. And a seal is not a game fish. Schuyler. Schuyler, as long as this man works for you, my father and I will never merge.
Preston, my boy, that can all be taken care of. Topper, you take your seal, your shot put, your ping-pong paddles, and go.
Telegram from Mr. Preston Quigley. Telegram from Mr. Quigley.
Here, boy.
Let me see it, Preston.
Hey, grab it, somebody, the wind.
Here, Marion. Read it.
Topper, read this.
Don't grab, Preston.
Topper, you idiot.
Mr. Schuyler. Sign that moron Schuyler to the merger deal fast. Can't hold the creditors off another day. Your bankrupt father, J.B. Quigley.
It's collect, sir.
Well, Mr. Schuyler?
Topper, my boy.
Cosmo always knows best.
How do you like that? Topper gets the credit, the seal takes the bows. What do I wind up with?
Me, dear.
And although this cup was awarded to me, I feel that I must in turn give it to the one so much more deserving of the honor.
Produced by John W. Lupton. A John W. Lupton, Bernard L. Schubert production. Starring Anne Jeffries, Robert Sterling, and Leo G. Carroll.